All right, well, let's get started, everyone. Hopefully everyone's on here. You will be muted until we open up for a question and answer session. I just want to welcome everyone tonight. It is that time already. Can you believe it? We sure can't, but it's popcorn season time. So welcome and thank you for taking your time to attend our virtual kickoff. This meeting is being recorded, so it will be available on our Popcorn webpage afterwards for your future reference. So tonight we're going to provide you with the training and tools necessary for a fun, successful popcorn season. And new this year, we did ask your unit treasurers or the person responsible for managing your unit finances to attend this. We do have a special session for them to talk about the financial process involved with popcorn. So before we begin, just a few housekeeping items. I'd like to thank our kickoff sponsor, Pecatonica River Popcorn, and our volunteers that are helping with this popcorn season. And we're asking you to feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation in the chat. Jeannie Barbian is tonight's moderator, so she will be monitoring our chat discussions, and Jackson Wright is our resident AV go-to guy. So thank you both for helping with our kickoff presentation. And we ask that your microphone remain muted until we're addressing your questions. If you haven't already done so, please pick up your popcorn materials and tasting kits from the Scout office during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 p.m. Your packets will contain your 2019 and 2020 initial sale order sheets. This is a good guide for you to determine what you want to do for your initial order this season. If you do not have an initial order one of those years, those sheets just won't be available in your packets. Oh, also in your packet, if you had a top popcorn seller that sold $32.50 or more last year or in 2019, and they were unable to attend the 12 Points Festival this July, their certificates are available at our office. And also when you pick up materials, please take just one tasting kit. We don't have as many tasting kits this year, so we want to make sure everyone receives their kit. And with that said, I'm going to try to get a little fancy with something, so bear with me just a second because we're about ready to meet Team Popcorn. So 1 second here. Uh-oh, technology. Okay. All right. All right, time to meet Team Popcorn. We're getting ready to rumble this evening. Introducing our starting lineup. Jeannie Barbian is your console contribution specialist and popcorn warehouse advisor. We are welcoming back our 2-year champ, Jamie Hiromi, is your popcorn warehouse assistant this season. We're excited to welcome back after 15 years of working with Boy Scouts of America, our account executive with Pecatonica, Brian Arndt, and I am your console development director, Heather Lampy, and popcorn staff advisor. Next slide, please. All right. Again, this year we're going to have district co-chairs. They will be your go-to people for popcorn questions starting 7 p.m. this evening. So for our Northern Lights district, you have 2 co-chairs again. We're welcoming back Allison Parr and Jan Rosauer. There is their shared email. You will use this email and one of them will respond, whoever's first available to do so. For our Southern Prairie district, we have 3 co-chairs. New this year, we have Kelsey Bumstead, Christy Rikers, and Megan Richardson, and there's their shared email. So again, starting at approximately 7:01 p.m. tonight, we'll be reaching out to your district co-chairs with questions regarding the popcorn season. Next slide, we hopefully have our sort day coordinators. Yes, there they are. So the sort day is the first day you'll pick up product on September 1st from the warehouse locations. For the north, we have Nicole Blevins. And for the south, your sort day coordinators are Dawn Ball and Carrie Troyer. All right, that was me getting fancy. So now we have a special recognition we'd like to share this evening with Hawkeye Area Council. We are proud to announce that we have a great volunteer who is saying goodbye to her popcorn service, but that's because she has done it for 20 years. So thank you, Lois Fields, for 20 years of outstanding service as popcorn colonel for Troop 235 in Riverside, Iowa. So let's get started about why should we sell popcorn. Obviously, there are many benefits to selling from a scout perspective. They're going to learn responsibility, perseverance, because you're going to have to travel to a lot of doors in the neighborhood before you get that yes. Good salesmanship, communication skills, and self-confidence. There was a mom that reached out to me last year saying how her son's a little more introverted and how just from being part of the scouting program and selling popcorn, she really saw him come out of his shell. And it was just a really amazing story to hear that. So there's a lot of self-confidence that our youth will learn from our scouting programs and from selling popcorn as well. For the units and console, obviously this is a huge source of revenue, so we can continue our programs. At the console level, it funds 38% of our budget. That's not only everything you get to do at summer camp, but year-round programs as well. For the units, it's going to enhance what you provide your family. So when you probably about this time right now are planning your calendar for your pack and troop and you're looking at all the activities you want to offer, you're going to start planning a budget as well and say, okay, with all these activities, how much is it going to cost us to provide this to our families? And then how are we going to offset that with revenue? And popcorn is one way to do that. For the families and scouts, they could, in theory, cover their entire year's worth of scouting program. So for example, I'll use our pack a few times tonight. This is just one example. Of course, you tailor it to what works best for your families and your unit. Our pack says, for example, approximately, let's say it's $120 is what we charge at the end of the year for the fees. That covers their recharter fees, neckerchief, slides, handbooks, Pinewood Derby car kit, everything the scout needs. Oh, their food at Blue and Gold Banquet, everything that scout needs to be in our pack for a year of programming. Then we figure out, because you get 31% commission from popcorn, we figure out if they sell $450 of popcorn, that whole year is covered. Anything in addition to that goes into something called a scout account. Some units have a scout account, some do not, and every unit does it a little differently. We charge above that $450, 20% goes back to a scout account. So that's for whatever the scout wants to use scouting related. So for example, I took my youngest son to the marksmanship day, cost us nothing. We paid up front, but then I sent the receipt to our treasurer and she reimbursed us out of his popcorn scout account. Another mom told me a few weeks ago, she said, my son's never paid out of pocket for summer camp because of how much he sells for popcorn. So this is why it's important for our families to consider selling if they choose to do so. Just another quick story. We were very involved with an intense baseball season with both our boys, and of course, family orientation, one of the first things they said, we're going to have to fundraise. And, oh, great, another one. And so they said, parents, you can sell so many boxes of candy bars or write us a check and be done. So that's basically what popcorn is. It's giving families a choice. They can write that check at the end of the year and be done, or they can sell popcorn and have their scouting adventure fully funded. Okay, sales schedule. A few things to think about before we actually kick off on September 1st. That is the first day of our sales season this year. The first thing, as mentioned earlier, is to develop a budget plan for your upcoming year. You're going to figure out the total expenses you need to run your program. Determine, using the 31% commission as your guide, determine how much popcorn is needed to offset those expenses. And then also, if you want to, figure out your scout accounts and what percentage you want to go back to the scout account. I know some units, they say all of it goes back because they may participate in other fundraisers. So they say 31% commission goes directly back to the scout. Again, it's whatever works with your unit's budget and your unit's families. Second thing this year is to start thinking about a unit kickoff. Obviously, we didn't have this last year because of everything going on, but this is the year to do it. This is a great way to get families excited about selling. The picture down below is of the tasting kit, what's inside it. This is a way to sample product. One unit said she picked up her tasting kits a few days ago, and the colonel said, we're going to have the scouts vote. So they sample the product, they vote on their favorite flavor, and then whoever sells the most in the unit of that flavor, they get a prize at the end of the season. Again, the timing is the same time that we're kicking off membership and recruitment. And so I know for our pack, it was always hard to try to balance that with welcoming new families into the program. So again, what you can do at your first unit kickoff is just let new families know these are all the exciting activities and programs we're going to do this year. And this is one way that you can fund it. The new families do not have to start selling right away September 1st. There's a lot of flexibility built into our popcorn program in our schedule. So if the new families want to just get accustomed to your unit, they can wait. We just need to know by October 4th, the midway point in the season, who is selling popcorn. So they can have some time just to get used to their scouting adventure. And the last thing under unit kickoff, this is something new Pecatonica has developed this year. I played it just to try it. It's a fun, cartoon interactive game online through Pecatonica's website. It's called Paddle Down the River. And at the end, scouts get a popcorn certificate downloaded. So it's a great way to introduce them to popcorn, to have them learn how to set a sales goal. And it talks about safety tips as well, which is very important when selling popcorn. So that's a neat game you can incorporate into your unit kickoff. The third thing to think about during the sale, prior to the sales season starting, is please log into Scout Boss if you haven't done so already. All the user profiles have basically been wiped clean. So we had a lot of outdated information. The historical data is still there. It's tied to your unit account. We just need you to log in and update your user profile. All right, so now we're in the heart of sales season. Again, we can start picking up materials from the Scout office. And then the first order, this is going to be a quick time turnaround here, is this Friday. So if you are ready to place that initial order for pickup at the warehouse location September 1st, which we call sort day, we need that order by Friday. Keep in mind these first orders are by cases only. So if you just want 10 containers of white ruby and you put in 10, that's 10 cases. So Jeannie can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's like 80 tins. So just be mindful, this first order for pickup on September 1st is cases only. After that, it's by containers. And after September 1st, you can start picking up product that Friday, the 3rd, and for the rest of the season from the console warehouse. It's just the first day. We have 3 warehouse locations because we're moving a lot of product that day. All this information too, that we're going over, the sales schedule, this kickoff presentation, it's in your leader guidebooks. Those are your go-to documents throughout the season. They're in your training materials in the lobby, as well as it's going to be on, here it is, it's going to be on the website. It is now, actually. So all these forms will be on the website and you can access those at any time. Let's see, I'm kind of going around my notes here. Okay. So the season has started. October 4th is approximately the midway point. At this point, a really wonderful thing happens. It's called trading. So if you haven't done trading before, it's a great way to move inventory that you're having difficulty selling. So after we receive your first payment, you'll get a report October 1st of what that first payment should be. And this is where your treasurers are very important. Make sure they're prepared to pay that first payment from your checking account. And then your sales roster has been turned in. That's why you need to know with new families, especially if they're going to sell, we need to know by October 4th who is selling. Once those 2 items have been turned into the console, and the unit sales roster this year is electronic. So there's a link on our website that will take you to the Google form to fill that out. Once that's received, you can trade. Trading is by quantity, not dollar value. So for instance, you have a $50 container of chocolate lovers and you're not selling it, that's a high dollar item. Move it out, get it back to our inventory. So what you do is you're still placing a reorder in the system. You have to order something though. So let's say you need some caramel sea salt. You have to do a minimum of 1 tin because you're turning in 1 tin, but you can always order more. And then in the notes, you're going to say what you're trading back into the console. So this is a good way, like I said, you're sitting on inventory you can't move. Midway point, start moving it. Let's get it back into our inventory so others can sell that product. And this, I think, oh, not yet, November. Yep, November 5th, our sales season ends. If you were unable to place that last order by November 2nd, it will not be available for pickup to the 19th, okay? And that's when everything's due in. All your prize order forms, your final payment, that's when you pick up your final order. November 19th is the cutoff date for that. So I think at this point, this is a good time to open it up for questions. If Jeannie, did you want to, if we can get you unmuted by the admin, maybe go through any questions that have come through? Or are there any questions, I guess, at this point? I think the best way to do this, since you guys are muted, if you could just ask your question in chat, and then Jeannie's going to help monitor that, and she can read that back. Oh, Gwen, you are unmuted. Okay.
Oh, I am unmuted?
Yep.
Oh, so I am new.
Welcome. Is there a particular question that you had?
Pack is doing popcorn, and yes, I want to be there for the meeting. What I was not made aware of is that I had to sign up for this meeting, which is why I was scrambling to get the link. Is there anything else that I have to sign up for, or some other way that I can find out about this stuff that someone new like me isn't gonna know?
Right. So this is why we said it's key for you to, for someone in your unit to update that user profile going forward. So we're using some 2020 information for kernels, as well as I emailed currently what we have registered as of, I think it was July, committee chairs, cub masters, and scout masters, especially if we didn't know who the kernels were. So we were hoping by those 4 different position codes, someone from the unit would have then registered, and that's when the link was sent once you registered. I think I sent it earlier this week or last week maybe to that group again, just in case they did not register in time. To know what district you're a part of, yeah, so when you come in to pick up your materials, we have a nice map right there. It says make sure you know which district you are a part of, because we have changed districts, and it has a listing of units per new district. And then you just go through, it's a nice, easy process in the front lobby, pick up your materials and sign out for them. And there you go, you can start. Okay, I think we're going to, if there are no other questions at this point with sales schedule, we'll keep going. All right, so this is the big day. So again, if you're able to and ready to place that initial order by this Friday, again, it's cases only. This is the day you'll pick them up. So sort day, September 1st. There's 2 locations this year. Northern Lights is Worley Warehouse, and Southern Prairie is Hughes Nursery and Landscaping, okay? Those that help with the sort, if you volunteer to help with the initial sort between 1 and 3, and this is kind of an estimated timeline, it depends too when the semi trucks arrive, but that's approximately 1 to 3, then you can take your product home first. So that's kind of a benefit to helping with the sort day. Long story short, we had a heck of a time getting warehouse locations this year, and this is what we could make work with the current situation out there with warehouse locations. So if you do not get your order in by the 13th, Scout Boss will open up again on the sort day, and you can place, it'll be a reorder going forward for pickup at the console warehouse. That's where you will pick up product for the rest of the sales season, and you can start picking that up September 3rd. So of course, you know, we recognize the hard work that the scouts and you guys do during the sales season, so we want to reward you properly as well. So the movie event did not quite happen the way it usually does this year because of things out of our control, but I'm happy to announce it's already booked for 2022, barring no unforeseen circumstances. The limos are reserved, AirFX is coming back, and so is Collins Theater. So we're excited to offer this to our top sellers. So that's $1,100 or more that sell product. They get invited to the movie on February 5th, 2022. Those that sell $3,250 or more, they go to the movie, they ride in style in a limo and go out to AirFX for a jump pizza party. So that is happening. May 7th, 2022 is the Popcorn Challenge free day at camp for the entire units. So there's going to be a series of goals for our units this year, and this sheet is now moving electronically. So it's just going to show a breakdown of what you need to do in order to qualify for the free day at camp. If your unit qualifies for that, all of your families are eligible to go out, enjoy all the activities we have set up there, and a lunch at camp on May 7th. We are doing prize flyers again this year. We're going with Keller Marketing just because National Supply was not an option. So Keller Marketing will be your go-to contact as well. So when you order your prizes and you have any issues, most common are, oh, I actually ordered the wrong thing and it was delivered and we didn't want that, or maybe something's broken. You will reach out to Keller. So these prize flyers, your order forms, and your door hangers will be available that sort day on September 1st. And if you can't pick up then, all those materials will be available at the council warehouse starting September 3rd. And prizes are these prize flyer prizes and your winner circle prizes you will order through Scout Boss. Now, Scout Boss is not something the BSA owns and operates. This is what Pecatonica uses to help us with the inventory management and ordering process. So that's what Scout Boss is. And so again, that guidebook that you have in your training packets and on the website, it's very user-friendly and walk you through how to place an order and order your prizes through Scout Boss. Winner Circle's coming back. It's just one set of prizes this year. So those that sell $5,000 or more, you choose two prizes at the $2,500 level. You sell $7,500, you can then choose three prizes at this level. And keep in mind the Amazon and Best Buy gift cards are gift cards. They will be emailed to the scouts. Okay, well, I'm really excited about this. Hopefully the scouts and everyone get excited too. This is something new we're trying this year. Other councils have had success with mystery houses. So this is a great way to motivate our scouts selling door to door in neighborhoods. And these are there's no clues provided. You just know these are scattered throughout our 7-county service territory in towns of all sizes. We're going to try to have mystery houses out there. So when the first scout arrives at a mystery house, to ring the bell, surprise, you found the mystery house. It's a guaranteed sale. So the household will buy product from the scout. They will receive a special prize, a gift card, and then get their photo taken, and encourage everyone to keep on selling door to door. So this is just one way we're trying to encourage those door to door sales throughout as many neighborhoods as we can cover. Another new thing we've been hearing loud and clear from everyone, we want an Iowa State tin. We were able to make it happen going in with other Iowa consoles. So we do have the Iowa State tins. We want to do a nice friendly competition to see who sells more of the Iowa State caramel sea salt tin or the Hawkeye caramel sea salt tin. So what we're going to do is there's some football themed swag bags available. So Kernels, when you submit your movie limo reservation forms at the end of the season, these are also going to now be electronic forms. There's a couple fields on the survey that you will enter to say who in your unit sold the most of Iowa State and the most Hawkeye, again, caramel sea salt, because chocolatey pretzels are also in Iowa. Hawkeye tin is a different one. So it's these two tins that we're looking at for the top sellers this season. With our product lineup, just a couple changes. Again, we have the Iowa State tins. So you have 2 tins containing the caramel sea salt product. And the other thing is there was a slight, let's say slight, price increase with the microwave kettle and butter. It went from $18 a box to $20 a box. Everything else is the same as 2020. One question we get every season is why the tins? Well, obviously the tins are part of our contractual agreement with Pecatonica River. The other things I've heard, other feedback is just the bag product. It doesn't last as long. The expiration can be a shorter expiration time frame, as well as get damaged easier just due to the elements of transportation and storage and warehouses. So if you get, and you will, get some customers that don't want the tins, I'll be honest, we don't keep them either at our house. So you get a customer like that, you can always offer a military donation. The microwave or the online store also carries coffee and candy products too. Every year we also get the, 'cause we have a lot of elderly neighbors and they cannot eat popcorn. And so when we hear that, we just, say, well, if you're interested in supporting, you can do a military donation, or again, offer the online store with the candy and coffee options as well. So how to sell football games. I mean, this is the Hawkeye area council, right? So we gotta take advantage of that. So Hawkeye Games are back. People are gonna be chomping at the bit to get there. You do not have to be an Iowa City unit to go sell at tailgating games. Here, oh look, there's the schedule right there for everyone. And we are gonna cover that first September 4th home game. So anyone can sell. Again, these are the two products we have in Iowa Hawkeye tins. And again, it's a lot of ground to cover. So the more the merrier to help sell product during the football games. How else to sell? We're bringing back the door hangers. This is good if you want to socially distance from your customer door to door. It's also great if the customer's not home. You just leave the door hanger on their door and hopefully they make a call later and order some product. There's your take order flyer. And we also have yard signs and banners available for booth sales, drive-through sales. If you participate in some community events, I know one year, Amana Colonies, I'm not sure which festival they were having going on, but some scouts were out there selling. Again, you just have to contact those businesses and property owners and make sure it's okay to set up a booth and go to town and have fun selling. Another way to sell, corporate sales. Corporate sales, please keep in mind, are not tracked in Scout Boss. So you will not place an order in Scout Boss for corporate sales. It's a separate form. This form is in your training kits in our lobby, as well as it's available on the website. You will fill out the form and then email it to my attention along with the company's logo. These make great gifts for businesses to give to vendors, employees, and customers. And then we will put at no extra charge their company logo on the tins. And again, the scouts receive their 31% commission on the corporate product as well. I think this is a great stopping point before we get into managing unit finances. Does anyone have additional questions at this time? Great. I think now we're going to listen to one of our district popcorn co-chairs, Allison Parr, who's also a troop treasurer. She's going to discuss managing unit finances.
Hello, I am Allison Parr, and I am talking to you about budgeting and ordering for your upcoming popcorn season. Before you place that initial order, it's very important to have a budget for the whole year for your unit so you know what you're fundraising for. And I want to give you background that I was the colonel and treasurer at the Cub Scout level, and my son does currently sell for the program at the troop level. And what we would do every year as leaders in our meetings is decide how much money we needed to run our program successfully. We would break that down into how much it cost per scout, and then we would break that down into how much each scout would need to sell in order to fund our program. After we figured that out as a leadership team, we communicated that to our parents in our kickoff meeting. And we made sure to communicate to them how much the program would cost and what they would get out of that. And then how much they, the cost per scout, how much they would need to sell each. And we would also try to intrinsically motivate them with all the incentives. They get great prizes through the program. There's a incentive day at camp, and also as a unit, you could incorporate scout accounts besides all the great popcorn they get to eat. Once you know your budget for your unit, the first step in starting our program is to place that initial order. Your initial order does not need to be as big as previous sales, but my note here is that you can reorder quickly. So you could base this off of a percent of total sales or actually a percent of previous initial orders. You want to be able to sell all that you order. So you could get feedback from parents, how much they want, and you could have booths scheduled to help sell that initial order. I want to emphasize that council is very good at filling the orders quickly. So there's no, you don't need to feel hesitant about waiting to place a smaller initial order, and then you'll be able to start those reorders right away the first week of the sale. It's real important to communicate with your parents throughout the whole sale so that tracking piece of the sale can be made easier for you. Every time that someone takes popcorn, of course, everybody agrees to the amount and signs the paper saying that the inventory matches and the amount paid matches. But it's also great at that time to go over the balance with the parent and say, you have checked out this much popcorn and you have paid this much money. And if everybody agrees on that, it helps you keep your tracking updated and the parents in the know of how much money they're required to sell. The goal is to sell everything. So if you take returns from your families, it would be important to communicate that you're only accepting a limited number of returns, or rather you could accept trades from your family. Since you can trade with council, maybe you accept trades from your family. I have my note here that scouts will be most successful in a unit with a healthy balanced budget. So don't sacrifice the unit's best for one scout's popcorn order. Your goal is to help the scouts, but they will be best helped in a successful unit in a successful council. So we want to make sure that we know what we need and we're communicating that with the family so that way they can just have fun on the sales side of the season. Regarding the money, have a set schedule with your parents. On the previous slide, I said have a set schedule for when orders are due, have a consistent night when they can pick up orders, and then finally communicating when those payments are due. An option would be to only continue to refill orders if payments have been made. You can accept partial payments. And as far as paying the council, I mimicked my schedule for my parents with the council schedule. So an example of that is, first of all, I had at least a payment due every month. And then on top of that, if council required half of our units payment in October, then I required half of the scouts payments the week before then to make sure I had that money to pay council. A lot of questions we get regarding scout accounts and how to run that. Now, every unit does it differently, but here are some suggestions. Setting a minimum sales total to fund the program or to pay for their membership or however, we get 31 cents per dollar sold to the unit. So once a scout raises enough money to pay for that programming, since we know our budget, or to pay for that membership, then maybe as a unit you could offer to fund those things for the scout. Another suggestion is to just offer a percentage of every dollar sold. So if you get 31 cents as a unit, maybe the scouts get 20 cents or 15 cents or 10 cents. And there are some units that just give the entire profit to the scout for their scout account. And that account would pay for other council activities, scout shop purchases, or gear needed to participate in the program. So that's up to you as a unit. And then there are some units that don't do scout accounts at all. So that's really up to you. These are just suggestions. At your unit meetings, you need to make sure everyone knows the budget. Where is your account standing with the money coming in and the money coming out? What's due and what's been paid? At that meeting, you can also review how much popcorn inventory you have and how much has been paid for already. so that if there are any outstanding accounts, individual scouts, or if you need to schedule more booths, you can do that. And I hope you have a great, successful season. Let us popcorn chairs know if you need any help for resources. And it's been great sharing with you today.
All right, well, thank you, Virtual Allison. They are enjoying a family vacation right now. A couple of things I just want to touch base. Didn't neglected to mention earlier in the presentation, we are staying with the schedule for pickup from our console warehouse Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So when your reorder is ready for pickup, Jeannie will send you an email. Once you've received email confirmation your order is ready to be picked up, you can do so Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And the last thing I wanted to mention is we understand people, you get in a bind sometimes. So we do allow 5% returns of total product purchased throughout the entire sales season. Once you have a return though, at the end of the season, you are no longer eligible for the free day at camp. And again, we understand it's sometimes returns are, unavoidable. And so that's why we do offer that 5% return. If you see that you're getting in a situation where it might be more than 5%, or you're like, okay, we really ordered too much inventory, and you start getting, before you get panicked or anything like that, don't wait till the last week of the sale. First of all, please reach out to me, to Jeannie. We will walk through this with you and kind of think of different ways to help you move that product faster. You can work with your charter organizations. I know sometimes they have events. You can set up booths there. Just again, like I said, no one's alone in this popcorn adventure. We have a lot of, pun kind of intended here, seasoned volunteers and staff members that really can help you with this, as well as we have a lot of resources on our website. So again, if you start to think, oh dear, we have a lot of product, we're gonna have a lot of product left over, let's have those conversations earlier in the season and really take advantage of trading. That happens October 4th. Jeannie, I think we're gonna be able to unmute her and see if she has anything to add that may have been overlooked before we turn it over to Brian with Pecatonica.
So there was just one thing, Heather, when you were talking about trades. You mentioned the chocolate levers and some of those more expensive tins. One thing to keep in mind with the Hometown Heroes, the chocolate levers, those more expensive tins, if you are going to trade them in, you have to have them in the original cardboard box. You can't bring just the tin back. And I know in years past, there's been some confusion about that. So just keep that in mind so that you make sure that you don't recycle or throw away the cardboard box that those come in when you initially check them out.
That is a great point. When you do booth sales, you want to show those tins and you take them out of the box. So once you do that for the number 3s, 4s, and 5s, let's see if I can remember this. The 3 cheese lovers, chocolate lovers, and I'm missing one, the classic trio.
It's the trio, Hometown Trio.
Oh, it's coming back to us. Anyway, those 3 products, once they're removed from the box, we cannot accept those. And also if it's really damaged or, obviously open or something like that, we cannot accept those returns. Obviously try to, return it in the way it looked when you bought the product from us. So
just keep in mind with the trio, with the cheese lovers and with the chocolate lovers, if you do go to a booth sale or tailgating or something like that, and you want to take those tins out of the box in order for people to get a better view of them, just keep the box. And if for some reason you end up needing to trade it, as long as that tin is still, what's inside is still sealed and it's not damaged, you just put it back inside the cardboard box, tape it shut, bring it to us, and we will take it back. Does that make sense, hopefully, to everyone? Okay. And then the returns that Heather was talking about, it's the total number of tins that you've purchased throughout the sales season, and then we calculate what 5% of that is. So it's not total revenue or total dollar amount sold. We had a question on that as well, which was a good question.
Yeah, very good questions. Any other questions so far before we dive into Pecatonica's website and tracking your inventory, which is very key to success of the season?
I don't have anything else on chat, Heather.
Okay, Brian, are you here? I know the weather was a little dicey earlier when we spoke with Brian at Pecatonica in Wisconsin. Are you here, Brian? Aren't?
I am in my wife's craft room right now, so you may see some some things behind me that are not mine, but very nicely done. So yes, thank you for having me. Glad to be back, even again virtually. As we look at those that may be new, even those that are returning, we've added some things to our website. So prpopcorn.com. You'll access your account through that My Account link in the top right-hand corner. But clicking that helpful tips at the bottom of the page will take you to where you can print off donation receipts, popcorn receipts. I have an intern this year, and he apparently is paid by the video. So he created 13 tutorial videos. So we have a video on what a tote bag is and how you use it. How do you use a door hanger? How do you use the tasting kits? So very nicely done. A lot of time and effort went into that. So anything that you're getting in terms of marketing material from Pecatonica, again, all sorts of stuff. Some that may apply to your council, some may not. But if you're new, I encourage you to take a look at that. The next slide is the ordering process. So certainly once you log into your account, update your profile information, you will step through the system through the next several weeks, couple months in referencing Scout Boss in terms of getting your scouts signed up if they haven't been signed up for online sales before, submitting winner circle prizes, placing your orders, your reorders. And then as you progress through the sale, you get into the trades that Heather was talking about. When you go to pick up orders, there's a checks and balances. So you're counting the inventory that you're picking up. It's being verified by the council. So everybody is in agreement when you get home that you weren't shorted, you're not long, anything like that. I think Heather already talked about drop-ins. Certainly the council can best serve you with a little advance notice. And then we've already covered the return piece and the eligibility for that free camp, day at camp. So one of the things that we worked on in the off season was Kernel Tracker. So I want to make it abundantly clear that My PR Popcorn and Kernel Tracker are web-based tools this year. They are no longer apps that you will find in the App Store. They have been rebuilt with more functionality and are now connected to the system. So again, if you go to the App Store and try to find these, you're not going to. And then you're going to wonder, is Pecatonica still around? We are still around. We're in Southwest Wisconsin, but Kernel Tracker has been redesigned. So when you log into your unit account on your dashboard, there's a button called Kernel Tracker. That'll take you to a login screen. And from there, if you're on a mobile device, you can create a shortcut on your home screen. You can bookmark it if you're on a computer. You can sign up your scouts through Kernel Tracker. Any sales, like reorders, show and sell, take order, all of that will feed from the main system into Kernel Tracker, vice versa. You can distribute stock down to your scouts. You can view online sales by scout. Probably one of the most beneficial things is managing show and sell locations. So you have the ability, I don't know if you can see it on the left-hand side here, the third bullet down is location link. So you can list your show and sell location opportunities for your scouts. Say you're selling in front of Hy-Vee from 8 to noon. You can assign the scouts in your unit 5 scouts to that shift, and they can see that in their My PR Popcorn tool. So again, greater managing of your sale, communication between, again, all the tools, and just to help with that from a unit level down to the scout level. The next screen, tracking the inventory, there's tracking spreadsheet. When this goes out, you can access that. The Google survey form, you'll complete that for weekly reorders. We will submit the reorders through the Scout Boss system, and then you'll set up those times with the council when to pick those up. So, and then the checkout form once the season starts at the council address there. The online sales, again, free shipping. There is absolutely no cost to the consumer, to the unit, to the council for the cost of shipping. Everything will ship from Southwest Wisconsin, and I will. So we have 13 products available through our online store. 11 of those have chocolate in them. Right now, there is a massive heat dome over the United States. So we will delay the shipping of chocolate product until we are absolutely certain that the customer will not reach their hand into a bag of chocolate popcorn and come out all soupy and gooey. It might be nice to lick their fingers, but we want the best possible experience. So we do have a banner on our online store that notifies the customer of that. All online sales count towards prize levels. So, if your scouts are selling, those will count to that winner circle level, those prize, Keller prize levels. Again, just a word of a reminder that the online sale is a supplement to the traditional sale. So it is different than your product that you have on your flyers. You will not find an Iowa State or Iowa tin on our online store. And that's because it takes care of all the councils we serve, whereas your flyer and your product mix there is specifically designed for the Hawkeye area council. So again, if you're using those door hangers, leaving those behind for customers, do not send them to the online store off of a door hanger because they are two different product mixes. So I just want to call attention to that. We are processing online orders daily, so you will see those updated in your unit account, your MyPR Popcorn, your Kernel Tracker, all those tools. So even though we might not be shipping because of the heat, we are still processing, so you can acknowledge those customers, have an idea of where your scouts are, where your unit is. The thing I want to say with Square is just have an ability to take somebody's money if they want to give it to you. So if they don't have cash, if they have a debit card, a credit card, just have a way to take that. So we have a link here on this slide, squareup.com/i/PR popcorn 1. If you created a new account, you get a free card reader and then a free processing on the first $1,000 that runs through that. That does start at the time that you start this application. So I think, I've been working with Hawkeye Area Council for a number of years, and I would say that the overwhelming majority of you already have this taken care of. So we're not going to focus too much on that. But so yeah, just to reiterate the helpful tips, the tutorials, the interactive activity. So I see love the automation. It is not a Madden 2021. It's not EA Sports. It is pretty much geared towards our younger sellers. It is, we took a page from our teachers in the time of COVID and spent probably 8-9 weeks developing that. And I will tell you, if there are any teachers on this training right now, kudos to you. It's a fantastic tool. Google Slides is what it was built in, but oh my gosh, what teachers do day in and day out. So it is truly amazing. So, again, Hawkeye Area Council, you guys know what you're doing through the trades. You guys move an amazing amount of popcorn. If Pecatana can service you in addition to the council, please let us know. This is a true partnership. We want you to do well. So that's what I have, Heather.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Brian, for joining us. I know you have a lot of consoles there that you're supporting, and like you said, you've been around supporting us for quite some time. We appreciate that relationship, and it is a well-oiled machine at this point with our popcorn sales and our seasons. So thank you for that. There was one other thing I just wanted to mention, because I got a few questions in last week, going back to just tracking inventory. Again, Kernel Tracker is available for you. It's at no charge. You just go to Pecatonica's website to access that. If you are looking for something else, I have a couple of samples on this slideshow that'll be available on our website to use a tracking spreadsheet. There's also a unit checkout form and a Google survey form. I'm hoping to get a copy of that soon. I'm going to kind of help you manage that as well. Again, I just wanted to open up. Let's see if we have any other.
I do.
There may be a few questions, Brian, about.
Brian, there's a couple questions about the credit card fees when they're using the Square app. One question is, does the unit need to cover 100% of the credit card fees? That works out to be about 10% of the total profit the unit would earn on a $20 sale.
Yeah, the council in Pecatonica is not covering that fee. So the amount of sales that you would actually get from accepting credit cards far outweighs any fees that you would pay. But yes, it is covered by the unit. And then feeding into that next one, added to the customer order, I think the unit can set that up within the Square when you set up your electronic store within the Square app. So you can choose to pass that on to your customers. So instead of selling, maybe a $10 tin you're selling, or a $15 tin you're selling a $16 tin, whatever, you can choose to cover that or pass that on to the customer. That's a unit-based decision.
Thank you.
Awesome question right there. So the popcorn needs to be stored at room temperature, assuming that room temperature is probably low 70s. Room temperature right now in some areas is probably 100 degrees. So we just need to get to room temperature, especially with that chocolate product. If chocolate does get warm, it just needs to be cooled back down to room temperature, and then you can massage that popcorn within those tins or whatever. It'll just break apart. It does not compromise the taste or the quality of that popcorn. But certainly if you have a cool, dry place, whether it's a basement or inside your house, I understand based on the amount of popcorn that some of you units move, you would have quite the stack of popcorn in your house, but that's probably the best place.
Great. Any additional questions at this time? Okay, great. I just want to reiterate, if you want to place that initial order in time to pick up at one of those warehouse locations for sort day September 1st, do so by this Friday. Again, your district co-chairs are ready and willing to field your questions throughout the season. And of course, Jeannie and I are available at the office. And we do have another question for you, Brian, in the chat. Can the Square be used with an Android phone or only Apple?
So when you sign up for an account, it'll ask you what type of, so some phones have a 3.5 jack on them, some don't, like an iPhone. So you would choose that when you're signing up, so you get the correct one. So you can use it. So I guess the question, it can be used on either an Android or an iPhone. You just want to be sure that you have the jack when you go to sign up for the account, which one you're requesting.
Okay, any additional questions at this time?
Underneath that account, that link, yes, it is one reader per unit. In the past, if you have Square readers from previous sales, previous vendor, whatever, they're not tied to a vendor, they're not tied to a sale, so you can continue to use those. And if you get a Square reader or a credit card reader, you can use it outside of popcorn. So if you're collecting dues from your scouts throughout the year or doing any other type of events that you're collecting payment, you could use that Square at that time as well. So
Great. And again, if your unit you're not quite ready to make that first order, maybe people are on vacation or other things are happening, that's okay. It just means then September 1st, Scout Boss will open up again for units to place a reorder that can be picked up 2 days later, Friday, September 3rd from our console warehouse. So again, it's okay if you're not able to make the 13th deadline, or you guys are still having those conversations with your unit leadership. And then again, you can reorder as often as you'd like throughout our sales season. And again, once you get that golden email from Jeannie in the office saying your order is ready to be picked up, you come visit us Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and we will have your product ready to go. Are there additional questions about the Square?
I believe you're right, Justin, as well. You can manually enter if you don't have the MagnaStrip reader. Yep.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank everyone's time tonight, and Jackson, Jeannie helping with the presentation, and Brian joining us from the craft room in Wisconsin. And again, no one's in this alone. We're in this together, and we can have a very fun, successful popcorn season for our scouts and families. So thank you, and have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.